Okay, Captain Blackledge, Blackledge. I work for Harris County Precinct 4 Constable's Office. We're out here on the scene of a 3-car major fatality wreck. What we have is one car was going south down Antoine, and it appears that he ran some red lights, striking the black SUV car, injuring the driver of that vehicle, and then he struck the minivan, which spun it around, and it did catch on fire. One of the passengers from the minivan was ejected, and the other 3 were killed at the scene. So we're out here still working the investigation on the crash right now at this time, and that's about all I can tell you. Does anybody have any questions? I can't really go into specifics of the ages of the victims or anything, but we do, like I said, have 3 fatalities confirmed at the scene here that were from the minivan, and it did catch on fire. But I don't want to go into specifics about the ages of the victims or anything. I don't want to go into specifics, but all the victims were in the van? No, there was a passenger that was in the other car that was injured and transported, as well as the driver from that car, and then the driver from the black car was transported.
So the victims, the fatal victims,
yes.
Were they in the van?
From what we're seeing right now, yes.
I know that it's early in your investigation, but can you say whether you believe speed was a factor? Obviously, it looks like it was a high impact wreck.
Well, one of the things we always do look at is speed's a factor and other contributing things that might have caused the wreck, as well as alcohol and things like that could be present. So that is one of the things that we will gather from the scene and look at.
How many people were ejected from the other vehicles?
There was only one ejection that we know of from the van. No, they were transported with life-threatening injuries downtown. Yes, actually 4 in the hospital, because the driver of the other vehicle was transported too.
What are their conditions?
Right now, what we know is that they were all critical, but they are kind of stable. So we're still getting updates from the hospital as we go.
So how many people were in the van originally?
4 total.
In the van, 4, and then that one 2.
Yes.
And then the other one just a driver. That
Yes.
was around the red light.
That's correct.
Could you talk about the history of this intersection? Initial time that coming out here,
I can't hear your question. I'm sorry.
The history of the
talk about the intersection and how dangerous it could be. People are saying there's accidents like this almost daily.
That one I don't know about. I mean, if there's been complaints about it, I could probably find out the information. But like I said, I'm over in the traffic division, so I don't have any specifics about how many wrecks are occurred here. But every intersection is dangerous, and that's why red light runners are not a good thing. And we.
So just that I can't hear very well. So the silver SUV going to be at fault or anything like?
We haven't determined the exact fault, and I don't really want to get into that yet because, like I said, we're still gathering evidence from the scene. But from what we know, one of the vehicles did run red lights and end up striking the other 2.
Do you believe the driver was impaired?
I don't know at this time. Like I said, it's still really early in the investigation. We do have deputies downtown with them, and we're still working the scene and everything, but that is always something that we look at is impairment on everybody involved.
Any idea how fast?
We don't have any speeds or anything yet.
Have I know witnesses observing a light flashing on the other side of the reason why the lights were not operating?
Yeah, actually, we found out that the lights began flashing right after the collision, because one of the traffic light poles for the pedestrian walk was knocked down, and they're all connected, so that caused them to start flashing.
So you believe the driver might have run a red light?
Yes, that's what we believe.
Sean, you want to talk about the investigation process and then give us a
Sure. Sean Teer, SEANTEARE, Chief of the Harris County DA's Office Vehicular Crimes Division. We're here in a supporting role, as we always are with our agencies. Precinct 4 is doing what they do. They've got an amazing team that does reconstructions, and they go from this point forward. We're looking right now at speeds of everybody involved. We're going to review all the witness statements that have already been given. We haven't determined fault, but based on witness statements, we have an idea of what happened. What we have to do right now is to put all of that together, along with an evaluation. Precinct 4 has a deputy that's evaluating the driver of the silver SUV right now. And based on what they tell us, based on what they're seeing at the hospital, in conjunction with everything we have here, charges may be pending. It's very early in this, but we know that we have at least 3 people dead, another person from that car with life-threatening injuries. If nothing else, this goes to show how terribly dangerous cars can be. And when you have people that refuse to obey traffic signs, whether or not they're intoxicated, doesn't matter. Things like this happen. So that's what we're doing right now. And when you have this number of lives that were lost and are still on this scene, all of us here, take this job very seriously, and we're going to continue to investigate. If charges are appropriate, we're going to file them. We have a number of witnesses who stayed on the scene that Precinct 4 has already interviewed. We have some surveillance footage. That will be a task that a couple of deputies are doing right now, and will continue for the next few days. I mean, there's some stores that aren't open right now and things of that nature. We've also got to do a lot of other investigative techniques that we utilize in all of these crashes to help determine speed and to corroborate what their reconstructionists are going to tell us about speed and fault and everything else. So yeah, we've got a lot of things that we're looking at, and it's just, a scene of this size and this magnitude is going to take some time to put together.
As far as the victims in the van, were they
We haven't even removed them. The medical examiner hasn't even had a chance to get them out of the car. So we're not going to probably know relationships, ages, names until tomorrow at the earliest. We don't know yet. That's going to be something for the next few days. If they were a family, if they weren't a family, the extended family, the people that love those people are going to get the worst news of their lives later tonight. So, it's something that's very important to us, but it's not something that we know yet. We don't know positions yet.
So it's still early in the investigation. We're still trying to determine who each person was and where they were at in the car, and who's driving which car, and basically, it's like you said, it's really early still in the investigation. So we're still trying to gather as much evidence as we can from here.
I imagine a very tedious process documenting evidence, especially to see this spread out like this. Any idea on how long that will take and
The best I can give you is a guesstimation. We'll probably be here for the next 2 hours, or hopefully 2 hours, but that's just a guesstimation. We don't know anything about any of the people involved, because at least I don't personally, because when I got here, arrived on the scene, they'd already been transported to the hospital. Like I said, we're still working on everything. I know the EMS was here really, really fast, and they gathered them up and transported them as quick as they could. So we're still getting locations. You'll see my guys marking stuff and starting to shoot the scene and stuff like that. So we're still working the scene. Any other questions? We're good? All right. Oh. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.